Yeah. So Shabbat Shalom. Parashat Teze. There is in the Parasha, to summarize our Parasha, it will be very long and very hard work, because there is 74 mitzvot aseh and mitzvot lo taseh, positive and negative. I'm not sure this is the word, but action and non-action, mitzvot aseh and mitzvot lo taseh. But we will review many of them, if it's okay. First of all, we have many mitzvot connected to war, to the sacred of the camp. Tohar HaMachane, it's also a expression in the Israeli army, that the camp of the soldiers need to be holy, and if a person had, first of all, if he's doing his needs, going to a bathroom, he should do it in a very clean way. Also, we should have mikveh in the camp, that they will be able to go if he had something. And this is a few of the laws connected to war. Also, the laws of marriage is in our parasha. The kiddushin, also the laws of divorce in our parasha. Another law connected to the parasha about marriage is very interesting laws about the first year of marriage. All the role of the husband have only one goal in this year, is to make his wife happy. It means that he cannot go to war, and he cannot become some kind of high position. You need to be dedicated to his wife and things like that. Also, many laws connected to marriage that are not allowed, or that happen not in the proper way. Family laws, we have laws of heritage. The firstborn should inherited double, and things like that. We have laws connected to the fields. We have field laws that connected to bringing gifts to the poor. So in every corner of the field, there is a part that you will not touch, you not take for yourself. This is law of pe'ah. And this is also laws about how to, I don't know how to say this word in English, not to work with ox and a donkey together. It's connected to kilaim. There is a law in this area that we're going to talk later. It's about a worker in the field. When a worker working in the field, you should pay his payment in time. You should pay his payment on time, meaning right when he finished his work. But the Torah gives permission to the worker in the field that he can eat from the field during his work. Only when he's under the tree, he can eat direct from the tree, and this is not considered his payment. For example, this is one law, and I want to talk about it after. There is many laws about loans, that if you gave a loan, you should not take percentage, of course. This is the laws of ribit. And if you took a guarantee from a poor, if it's his own bed, night clothing or things like that, you should give him this. Yes, you should give it back. We talked about it last year, actually, about this law. It's very interesting. Why it's interesting? It's interesting because if you took his pajamas and you every night bringing him back the pajamas, It means that he doesn't want to give you back the loan because you're giving him back every night the pajamas, so he doesn't feel the need. So what's the point? But this is not today's subject. Many laws connected to court, not to change the law, even if we want to help the poor, connected to how it's called, witnesses, that father and a son cannot be witness. And many laws connected to punishment. There is a law that there is punishment in the Torah, killing by hanging. The Torah said you should not hang a person more than one day. Why? So the Torah said an expression, Kilelat Elokim Talui. It's like you cursing God when a human being is hanged. Why? So Rashi giving a nice explanation that imagine the king had a twin, and the twin of the king was a criminal, and he was judged to death, and he was hanged. So all the people that working in the street, seeing the person, his body, they thinking the king is hanged because he look like the king. So Rashi said exactly is the same thing about a Jew, a person that is hanged. He's in the image of God, and this is not honor to God when a human being is hanged. And from that we're learning a lot about our body. Our body is not something that we should not take care of, because it's not ours. It's the image of God, and it's important. Last week we learned about blessings in the Parasha, and there is blessings of good things that happen to us. So there is a law, good things that happen to us, we saying a blessing of thank you. There is many kinds of blessing of thank you. Atov ve'ametiv, agomel lechayavim tovot, that we're saying on the Torah. But we're saying blessing only on good things that happen to our body. Things that happen to our money, good things that happen to our properties, we don't saying blessings. Why? Because only things that happen to the body had a special connection with God. Because our body is in the image of God, so this is connected to our law that not hanging the human body, just to leave it hanged. Another law, interesting law, that you should build a fence in the roof of your house, that nobody should fall from there. To steal a human, to not to take a human being to yourself. Tzitzit, the laws of tzitzit in our parasha, and finally the laws of not remembering or remembering Amalek. It's also in our parasha. This is a very, very summarize of many details and laws in our parasha. Our deeper learning will start maybe with a subject. Of course, it will be connected to our parasha, but we will start in a subject that connected more to Rosh Hashanah. We are in the days that we need to prepare ourselves to Rosh Hashanah, the month of Elul, month of Tshuva, and we talked also last week that Rosh Hashanah, the main thing of Rosh Hashanah, is the day of remaking God as a king, crowning God, becoming the king again. We, by blowing the shofar, revealing in God the new will to become the king. And this is from Adam Arishon on, the first the Adam said, Hashem Malach Geut Lavesh, God is the king. And from then, when we're blowing the shofar, we're crowning Hashem as a king. But of course, we're not forgetting the simple and not only the simple, it's the base of Rosh Hashanah. What is the simple meaning of Rosh Hashanah? Day of Judgment. We cannot forget it because it's also true. It's also true that Rosh Hashanah is Day of Judgment. Actually, it's very interesting. All the holidays from the Torah explaining why we have this holiday. The Torah saying about Yom Kippur to fast, not to fast, to make something that our sages understood that this is fasting. And then the Torah said, Ki bayom hazeh yechaper alechem, because in this day God forgiving us. To celebrate Pesach, to eat matzot, Ki bayom hazeh yatzatem miMitzrayim, because in this day we was going out from Egypt. Same thing about Sukkot, to sit in the Sukkah 7 days. Ki, because this day we went out. Ki b'Sukkot ushavti, because God was giving us Sukkot in the desert. But why to have the shofar in Rosh Hashanah? The Torah not saying ki, because. The Torah doesn't explain why. So we understand there is something very, very special in Rosh Hashanah, because we're doing something very spiritual. We're blowing the shofar. But why? The Torah doesn't tell us. But we know, because Rosh Hashanah is making God the king, and Rosh Hashanah is like crying, and we need to do tshuva in the day of judgment. Okay? What happens in Rosh Hashanah as a day of judgment? So our sages telling us in the Talmud that 3 books are open in Rosh Hashanah. The book of the righteous, Sefer HaTzadikim, the book of the wicked, Sefer Shel Beinonim, and the book of the middle, Sefer Shel Reshaim, the book of the middle, Sefer Shel Beinonim. The righteous are judged to life. The wicked, Reshaim, judged to death. The Beinonim have a chance to do tshuva, to pray, and then their law is closed in Yom Kippur. They have 10 days to sweeten their sentence. This is what we know in the Talmud. There was a very, very big rabbi that we all heard about. His name was the Ramban. Not the Rambam, the Ramban. The Rambam was Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. The Ramban was Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman. They were both from Spain. And they both traveled a lot in the world. Not a lot, but they had a long travels. And the Ramban passed away in the land of Israel, in Eretz Israel. All his life he wanted to go to Israel, but he didn't have the chance. But in the last years of his life, he escaped from where he was living and escaped to Israel. And after a few years, he passed away. In the first Rosh Hashanah in Israel, the Ramban was in Akko. Akko is a city that there is a water. And not only there is a water, there is a port. And he came there with the boat. We're talking about 800 years ago. And he was Rosh Hashanah in Akko. And in Rosh Hashanah he made a speech. And the speech was a very foundational speech. It's not a simple speech, and it was written as a book for itself, the speech of the Ramban in Rosh Hashanah. And the Ramban there asking very, very serious questions about Rosh Hashanah. And the point of the question is one. It's divided to few How we can say that in Rosh Hashanah God deciding that the righteous are to life and the wicked are for death? If that's true, day after Rosh Hashanah, all the wicked should die, or day after Yom Kippur, and all the righteous will live. And this is it. It's not happening any Rosh Hashanah, it's not happening. And he asking this question in more. It's not true. The Talmud tells us in other places that it's not true. The righteous people not getting a good life here in this world. The righteous people actually suffering more. First of all, because we're seeing it. We're seeing it. That the righteous people not living the best life. Second of all, the Talmud tells us that the righteous people, because God want to give them the best paradise, the best olam haba, so all the small things that they did in this world are cleaned by suffering or not living a good life in this world, and then they coming pure to the next world. And exactly the opposite by the wicked. People that were bad in this world, having a good life in this world, to make them clean for all the goodness, we pay them for the goodness, and then they come into the next world pure to go to hell. There is a story, very, very, very interesting story. The story is about very, very big. This story was written by Rashi. The story is about one rabbi, very, very good person, very righteous, and he lived in a city, and in the same city lived wicked person. Wicked person. He was a person that, he was in Hebrew, it's called the Mochsan. What is Mochsan? Mochsan is the person that taking the taxes from the people. In those times, the king did not know what's going on in the city. Every city was the Mochsan. He came to the people and asked them for the money. So with the rich guy, he would never argue. Whatever the rich give him because he's afraid from the rich people. But the poor people, he was taking from them everything that they could from the poor. So all his life, this wicked person, was nice to the rich and bad for the poor. And all the city hated this guy. And he was truly not a good person. So there is two people in the city. And the story goes that the rabbi, the righteous person, passed away. And in the same day, also the other guy passed away. So all the city came to take to the funeral of the rabbi. And to the funeral of this wicked guy, no one came. Only his children. So the children decided, we will not go alone. So they went after right after the big funeral that all the city going after the rabbi, they came with their father. In the middle of the funeral, screaming starts. There is, soldiers or whatever, bad people coming, and all the people ran from the funerals. Only the dead stayed. Everybody ran. They passed away. They passing all the whatever they were afraid of, and all the people coming back to continue the funeral. And then what happened? They got mixed. All the city took the wicked guy, took him to the best grave in the city, said Kaddish. All the people cried. On the gravestone they wrote how nice and important and a teacher he was. And the kids took the other ark, put them in the bad part. No one said Kaddish. No one said, and it finished. After a few days, the rabbi coming in a dream to his student and telling them, please replace the places because it got mixed. And in the dream, the student asking the rabbi, how come you deserved that in your funeral, that it's very important time to the soul, you had no Kaddish, you had no honor, and this guy got everything. So the rabbi told them, I was a good person, but one time I sat with my friends and there was an argument between two rabbis, and when they talked, they laughed. They would talk disrespectfully on one rabbi, and I did not say nothing. And I should say, it's not appropriate, stop, to protest against this talks. And I did not do it. And the other guy was a bad person. But one time, he heard that one big minister coming to the city. And he prepared a whole big meal, because that was his life work, to be good to the rich. And then this minister canceled, so he was stuck with a lot of food. So he decided to give all the food to the house of the poor, and they ate for a month. And they had very good food. So in heavens, they decided, I need to be punished in this world, that I will have a pure Gan Eden, pure paradise, and he should have reward in this world, that he will have a pure punishment in Gan Eden. And that was the reason that the two funerals were mixed. After this story, the question is, what we talking so much in Rosh Hashanah about Day of Judgment? If we good, it doesn't mean that we will have the reward in this world. So this is the question of the Ramban. What is the answer? There is many answers. Very interesting and very, very long subject. But the point of the answers are very, very simple. What we must say that the definition of tzaddikim and reshaim and beinonim in this day of judgment, it's a bit different than what we think. Rosh Hashanah is day of judgment on this world. What's happening here? Who Hashem wants to stay in this world? Who Hashem wants to be taken from this world? And it's very, very interesting. The Rambam, not the Ramban, the Ramban asked the question, and the answer today will be from the written of the Rambam. The Rambam telling us that the best preparation to Rosh Hashanah is to give tzedakah. Not to learn Torah, of course everything. To pray, to learn Torah, to do tshuva. But the best preparation is tzedakah. Why? So the Rambam explaining that Hashem want in this world people that going good to this world. Hashem doesn't want people in this world that doing good for him. The reward of praying and being connected to God you will get in heaven. The reward of learning Torah you will get in heaven. The reward to buying the best kind of tefillin you will get in heaven. The reward of putting with other person's tefillin you will get in this world. The reward of giving tzedakah you will give in this world. Because there is a difference between mitzvot that we're doing with another person to mitzvot or goodness that we're doing with other person. If you give tzedakah to a person, you went in the streets, you saw a poor guy, you gave him, you knew now it's Chodesh Elul, you gave him 50 euros. This guy was real poor, in those days you can give tzedakah. Even I had this in Estonia. I gave tzedakah to one guy, and I saw in his face when I gave it to him, he doesn't need it. He truly did not need it. He wanted to buy another bottle. And he didn't. But when you give a tzedakah it's also good, of course. But when you give tzedakah to a person, and you truly make his physical life better, you buy from there with that good food, the kids had good time in their home, the father and mother smiled. This, you make their physical life better. Hashem saying, this person have good influence in the physical life in the world, and I want him to stay. When a person praying all day, so the soul in heaven will pray better. So it's not a reason to take him from the world. But righteous people connected to Rosh Hashanah, saying the Ramban, is a person that is righteous not only between him and Hashem, is also righteous between him and other people. And this is very important to know. The best preparation to Rosh Hashanah is between a person to another person. There is a story connected to that happened really lately, not long ago, that I know the person that it happened with him. And the story is about young guy, Chabad, from Kfar Chabad in Israel. One day he stopped hearing in one ear. So he needed to go to a doctor, and they found out that he have in his brain tumor that is blocking his hearing, and is in a critical condition. Everybody told them that they have no way to go. And then he didn't know what to do. So he spoke with many people, but he wanted to do something spiritual. He felt, if I will decide something. He asked his rabbi in Chabad. We have the Rabbi wanted that every person would have his personal rabbi, not only a rabbi according to law, not rabbi of law, rabbi of consultant, a spiritual guide. So we went. It's called in Chabad Mashpia. This is a nickname. So we went to his Mashpia and he asked him what to do. So Mashpia told him, you should write a book. So he told the Mashpia, I wrote a book on Torah. So the Mashpia telling him, no, you need to write a book. I know also the Mashpia of him. He was my teacher, this Mashpia. And he told them you should write a book for the public that everybody can use. Not only that big and important people can use. Also, or rather a book for the public. Book of Torah for the public, that you should help the world. And this was his decision. That was his decision. He decided that he have a mission in life. He will do something good to the world. And then he found a doctor in America that decided that he will do his operation. And he did successfully, and I know him, and he's a rabbi now in Kfar Chabad. That was a very big miracle. But it was the decision that he decided, I will bring a very big gift to the world. So when you're doing that, so Hashem, seeing that you need it, you have a mission, you're in the middle of a mission, Hashem not taking you, or giving you a good life to fulfill your mission. Now, how it's connected to our parasha. In our parasha, one second. So, in our parasha, we have very, very interesting law that I mentioned earlier, that you should pay your worker in the field when he finished his work, not to delay the payment. And it's very important law in the Torah. And the Rabbi asking, why Hashem not pay us in time? This is the question. What does that mean? God gave us 613 laws. I put tefillin. I should have reward on time. Oh, one second. Hello.
Hello, Slicha, I'm very sorry, just very busy times, so I'm in the middle.
It's okay. I just now started a new subject, and it's good that you join us. Let's go right into that.
Right.
There is a law in our parasha that when a worker working in the field, he should get paid on time. Meaning, right after he finished the work, he should get paid. Every day, every month, whatever they agreed on, but not to delay his payment. And the question is that we know that Hashem doing all the laws that He commanded us to do. He's doing in His way. And the question is, how come we're not getting paid for our work right on time? We finished to do one mitzvah. We should feel better, I put tefillin, I getting the reward. I kept Shabbat, I getting the reward. Why we not seeing the reward? This is the question.
Yeah, why not immediately?
Why not immediately? Yeah.
As the law says.
Yes, this is the law.
Do the work and you get the reward.
And there is answer that people answering, many commentaries, that we're getting the reward when we go to heaven. But the Rabbi asks, there is an argument in Torah, when is the reward to the mitzvot? The reward in heaven, not according to all, is the reward on the mitzvot. There is opinion that the reward on the mitzvot will get in this world, when Mashiach will come. So how come we need to wait until Mashiach, and we're not getting it up straight when we did the mitzvah? What we're getting in heaven is not the final reward. This is the base understanding of Chassidut. There is argument, when is the final reward? What Chassidut learning, and this is like the halacha, that the final reward will be in the Geula. So how come we need to wait? To understand that, we should understand a bit the law of giving pay. I'll just summarize two ideas. First of all, there is a worker. A worker in the field should get paid when he finished the work. A worker in the field, as I mentioned earlier, can get food during the work. When he is in the field, he can eat. A servant also can get reward. The food that he eats is his reward. A servant, according to the Torah. But this is another subject. There is also not a worker, there is a partner. When there is the partner, so the partner not getting the reward, when he finished to do something. If I'm working in the company and I'm also a partner, I don't need to get the money straight right now. I can get it later. Because I am also owner, I'm not only worker. What the Rabbi answering is that the Jewish people, first of all, not finish their work when they put tefillin. They not finish their work when they kept Shabbat. When they finish their work. Also when they passing away, they're not finishing their work. When the work is finished, there is one job. All the generations, all the people, millions and millions of people, maybe billions of Jews that were all the generation, have only one job. The job started from Matan Torah, and it will finish when Mashiach will come. So God will give the reward right in the finish of the work. When will be the finish of the work? When Mashiach will come. So we do getting the reward straight after. But straight after did not come yet. Okay, nice answer. But what is the meaning of all the gifts that there is in the Torah in this world? If you will do mitzvot, you will get reward in this world. What is the meaning of that? We now standing before Rosh Hashanah, and we're saying that if we will be good, we will give tzedakah, we will get reward in this world. What is the meaning of that? The worker can get reward from the owner. As I said, they can eat from the field during the work. But God not giving us a good life as gifts. God promising. Is an agreement of God. It's like another contract. And it's, if we are workers that getting the reward only in the finish of the work, what is the meaning of all the gifts that we having during the work? And this is important lesson that the Rabbi teaching us. We're not only workers that getting the reward in the end, and we have nothing now. We also partners. We are not, our relationship with God connected to the work in this world is not of a worker and a boss. It's of two partners. Hashem created the world. And then he created Adam. And he told Adam, Ki sheshet, we're saying in Kiddush, ששת ימים עשה השם את השמיים ואת הארץ, and we're saying that God put Adam in Gan Eden, לעובדה ולשומרה. That Adam, his mission is לעובדה, לעבוד, to work. Yes? In Kiddush we're saying, אשר ברא אלוקים לעשות. This is the words in Kiddush. Asher bara Elokim, that God created, la'asot. What is He created to do? He created for us to do. So in this text we're learning, actually the custom is in synagogue, we're saying this text in Shabbat, in synagogue in the prayer. And the custom is to say this prayer not alone. To say it with a partner. In synagogue in Shabbat, we're singing it here in Tallinn, everybody together. Vayechulu hashamayim. But if you will go to Israel, and you will see that someone came in the last minute to the synagogue, or he prayed Amidah too long, and he did not say the Vayechulu with everyone, he would look for a partner to say Vayechulu. Why? Because this text we're saying together. Why? Because this text talking how we partners of God. We are not workers. If we workers, we have no relationship with him. He is our worker. He gave us a mission, go to sleep, and we are working. When we will finish, we'll get the reward. But we are not like our workers. We are a partners. So a partner will collect the reward, of course, because he's a partner. You have a fair share. But it's not only that. He's also owner in some level. He deserves to get. And he deserves to get it even during the work, because he's owned it. And for us, it's very, very important to understand that the work, when you are a worker, so you don't care. When you are a partner, it's yours. When you are a partner, it's yours. The work is yours. The work belongs to you. And that's why we need to do it with care and with enthusiasm. So what we have, let's summarize the ideas. First of all, we have the idea of Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, of course, as we learned last week, is day of crowning Hashem as a king. Not only that, Rosh Hashanah is day of judgment. We need to prepare ourselves to the judgment. How we prepare ourselves? What the judge like? The judge like people that not only are good with him, also are good to the world. When a judge Hashem see the Jewish person, giving tzedakah, helping to other people, he's saying this is a person that's good to live in this world, because he giving. If I give him and it's staying in his pockets, it's not a good. He have no value in the world. If I gave him and he give other, have value. This is what the judge, and this is why reward in this world is not only connected to the righteous people that praying in synagogue. It's maybe more connected to people that giving others. Reward on Rosh Hashanah. Maybe in paradise, in Gan Eden, the righteous getting a lot of reward also, because they prayed. If you pray, you continue praying Gan Eden, no problem. But the reward is not only here. The reward would be not only here, not only in paradise. The final reward would be when Mashiach will come. Then we will collect all the work that we did in this world. Oh, Chaim. Everything okay? So we will collect the final reward when Mashiach will come. But here, because we are partners of Hashem, we're getting very, very much of the reward also here. This is the point that I wanted to say. I hope it was understandable. Shabbat Shalom. Chaim.